Well, we wanted to run the course because we felt the time was right in the Northwest to look at an investor readiness programme. We feel there's strong investment opportunities for a lot of our really good digital and creative companies in the region, particularly with some of the drivers that are happening in the region at the moment around Media City and some of the other exciting sort of opportunities. And the course is specifically tailored to try and get our companies in the region to understand the intricacies of investment, but also for investors to understand the strength and quality and breadth of companies in the region.
You're so caught up in your own business, in the day-to-day of your own business, that you don't think necessarily about the perspective of someone who's looking independently and who's outside of your business, who's looking inward. So you're sort of educated in the way in which people will look at you, and that's a very important perspective to have. We're working in a marketplace that's emerging, and for that reason the opportunities to get involved with the VC, the opportunities to mull over investment opportunities, growth opportunities, just felt right for us.
We've self-funded for 10 years, so we have that resource to continue to do that. But the attractive elements of getting investor capital is that we can accelerate what we've already been doing. So instead of spending the next 10 years to achieve our goal, we can do it in a fraction of the time.
We work on a similar programme in London. We've been doing that for the last couple of years. The companies in that programme have raised over £36 million of investment. 48 companies have been successful, so that averages at about $750,000 per company.
The first area that we really focused on was all about investor readiness, how to build value in the business and how to realise value in the business. And that's where Pembridge came in. That's really what they've done, is they've created an investor readiness programme over the last few months for the companies.
Pembridge Partners advise and offer finance to early stage and high growth companies. And through that, we help companies grow through our day-to-day work, and taking in all of that experience and our investment capability, we can help prepare companies so that when they talk to investors, they'll talk the language that an investor will want to hear and understand.
On the first day, I think the first session was all about how investors assess opportunities, and that was really useful to get that insider insight into the mind of an investor and what's a turn off and what's a turn on.
What Pembridge have done, I think more than anything else, is come to this programme to say this is how venture capitalists and this is how banks will think when they're considering investment in companies of your nature.
You actually understand where an investor comes from and the terminology they use and what they want to hear when you're describing your company and what you do.
We've learned a lot about getting the right investment. For us, it's not just about taking somebody's money, it's about finding new people to work with, people who will greatly enhance our business. And often that's somebody with money, but who can also offer expertise in key areas.
The second part of the course was all about the softer skills and about creating team dynamics and understanding how the management team is formed, and particularly how to pitch that into a group of investors. That's where the Greenfield and Andrew came in.
My background is 20 years in the creative services industry, and for the last 10 in the digital sector. What I brought to the course was the fact that I'd been a part of a management team, been through the selling process, and what I was looking to do is to bring the management team's perspective alongside the investor's perspective.
What Andrew did was encapsulated a lot of great ideas about how to lead companies, about how to coach your staff, and so on and so forth.
He's helped us look at structuring things in a really practical and organised way.
Investors are looking to invest in the management team. That's really quite critical for their investments to be successful. So you've really got to make sure that the management team are displaying the right qualities for leadership.
The conclusion of the course was the final day where all of the companies got to pitch in front of a group of real investors, all of whom came with a portfolio of companies, whether they were VCs, banks or other angel investors, and the companies had to give the presentation. There was a discussion afterwards where each of the companies were judged firstly on their presentation style and secondly on how investable they were.
Focusing your investment pitch is very different from focusing a business pitch. And the kind of things that the Fast Company programme has helped us focus on is about really understanding the minds of the investor and what they want to hear and tailoring that pitch to them.
While previously, if we were looking to pitch, we would probably have focused a little bit too internally, really focused maybe too much on why our company is important, what it is that we do that's special. But I think what this course has said is that's important, but actually you probably need to spend a little bit less time on that and more time on what numbers am I going to achieve, what's my exit strategy, why am I of interest to a venture capitalist with money to spend who's looking for a significant return on their income.
For all the companies that went through the course, we expect them to be able to pitch their ideas, their companies and themselves a lot better going forward, and particularly to understand the difference between pitching to a client and pitching to an investor. And I think that's really important. They've made some great contacts, both with investor readiness companies like Pembridge, but also with VCs, 10 of whom they saw today. And I think going forward, we expect those companies to sort of spearhead in the region the change that we're trying to achieve here in the region, to try and get a lot of the companies comfortable with talking about funding and with seeking funding and really trying to get them to step up to the next level.
It's really waking me up, really. It's almost like spending 10 years in slumber and then someone kicking you out of bed and saying, look, 3 to 5 years, you could be a millionaire. You could have £1 million in your bank account and you've got everything in front of you to do it. Why aren't you doing it?
We didn't really know that investment was an option or a serious option for us in order to grow. I think having been on the course, investment is a very serious option, and it could be the path that we take to achieve the goals that we want to achieve.
We're very focused on growing the business, and we know that we need to raise finance to do that, and this has given us the tools to do that.
But what I think we've learned is that venture capitalists are in fact interested in local, regional, creative and digital industries. They can see the growth potential that we have, and they can see the benefits of long-term partnerships with these companies and the growth they can generate over time.
I think the impact of this course could be massive, but it's not just the information that's being communicated or shared, it's a mindset shift. It's from being just a cottage industry of some funky, creative, small businesses turning over between $500,000 and $1 million a year. What we need is a clutch full of world-class 5, 10, 15, 20 million pound businesses. And I think the ingredients are here. We just need the ambition and support to make it come alive.